Good morning, beloveds. It is September 13th. I put the title in there and then I immediately forgot. It is Sunday, and it does look like it's going to be a beautiful day out there. So, our title is Today, the Eternal Now, We Perfect Our Good. And our Bible quote is, "The eternal God is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms." That's Deuteronomy 33:27, which explains where the everlasting arms came from a couple of days ago. Ernest does not cite his sources, just so you know. Fortunately, there is a book where somebody went through, I know at least the textbook, and cited his Bible sources. That is our ongoing work to find and cite his sources. Ernest never took credit for any of the amazing things that he said. He believes that everybody has a piece of the truth, and so he was pulling them all together. He's like, this was not created by me, this was not revealed by me, this was compiled by me. The truth is out there. And I just quoted X-Files. But that's what Ernest believed. He believed that the truth was already out there, but it was our job to go find it. So one, the truth is out there, but two, the truth is also in here. So again, it is our job to find it. It is our job to reveal the truth that is already in existence by pulling together the resources that we need to find it, both within ourselves and in our resources. All right, September 13th. Today we say to ourselves, our experience is enriched by perfect faith. Our affairs are in the keeping of eternal mind. We live in the divine presence. We are guided by the infinite wisdom and sustained by limitless love. Today we say to ourselves, we are part of the eternal wholeness. We live, move, and have our being in this Spirit of God. We are consciously drawing upon this Spirit for inspiration. We are continuously receiving guidance from on high. Today, we remember that the Spirit is not far off, but ever at hand, diffused through us. Today, we remember that love is the great lodestone of life, that joy belongs to the Spirit, that the life more abundant is at hand. Today, we carefully watch all our thinking, being certain that it sees in everyone it meets a reflection of the divine image, a copy of the divine pattern, a manifestation of the divine life. Whatsoever things are good, lovely, and true, these things I think upon. These thoughts I entertain in my mind. Deep within me there is a feeling nature that reaches up and out and grasps the full significance of the consciousness of the good for myself and others. He does not believe in periods, and his punctuation can be, and today it was a lot of very long sentences. So, he said a couple of really amazing things in here, though. I mean, he always says amazing things, but there was one particular phrase that really got my attention. So let's see what we're talking about today. So today we say to ourselves, our experience is enriched by perfect faith. Ernest teaches this. Faith, and I have kind of put a little spin on faith as it's trust plus imagination. It's like, what can you imagine, and then do you trust that you can have it? Faith. Our affairs are in the keeping of the eternal mind. So there is a mind out there that supports us in managing our affairs. And that's the mind with the capital M. There is a mind out there that helps to support us in managing our affairs if we are willing to be open to the guidance. We live in the divine presence. Yep, that's classic Ernest. We are guided by infinite wisdom and sustained by limitless love. So we are guided by the wisdom if we are open to being guided by the wisdom, and we are sustained by limitless love. If one, the love is limitless, and two, when you feel the love flowing through you, you have all the energy in the world, and when you're not feeling the love, you feel a little drained and tired. But the good news is the love is always flowing. You just control how much it's flowing, so turn the nozzle up. Today we say to ourselves, we are part of the eternal wholeness. We live, move, and have our beings in the Spirit of God. That's one of his dyed-in-the-wool phrases. He uses that a lot. It's like, let me remind you where you live, where you move, and where you have your being. That is in the divine being, because there is nothing outside of the divine being. And when you remember that, things work a little bit better. Or a lot better. We are consciously drawing on this spirit for inspiration. And that's the secret, or the key, is that we are consciously drawing on this. It's like we are always drawing on this spirit, always. But when we do it consciously, we get what we want, and we get what we desire, and we get what we need, whatever word you want to use in there. When we're conscious about it. When we're doing it unconsciously, that's where it introduces a little more. Are you really getting what you want? We are continuously receiving guidance from on high. We're continuously. Are we listening, though? We're receiving the guidance, but are we listening? If you see the little orange ears, Rita has joined us today. Today we remember that the Spirit is not far off, but ever at hand. And all of the poets talk about that. Either Rumi or Hafiz says that you are closer to me than my jugular vein. So today we remember that the Spirit is not far off, not out there, but in here. Diffused through us. Today we remember that love is the great lodestone of life. And that's the phrase that got my attention today. Today we remember that love is the great lodestone of life. Well, lodestone's another word for magnet. So what he's saying is that when we are more loving, more things come to us. And they come to us easier. So when you are wanting something, or desiring something, or needing something, ask for it in love. Walk around in love, and things will come to you. People who are kind and compassionate and loving just seem to, and I'm going to use the word seem to have it easier. Things just kind of fall into their hands. It is what it looks like. And so why not try it? Why not try it? If nothing else, if you're living in love, you will feel a whole lot better. All right, words. That joy belongs to the Spirit. That life is more abundant. That the life more abundant is at hand. Today, we carefully watch all of our thinking. Now, Ernest says this a lot. Ernest is constantly on the watch what you're thinking, watch what you're thinking, watch what you're thinking. And it is very important to watch what you're thinking. Bear in mind that your first thought isn't necessarily the problem. Because we all have trained reactions. Our second thought is the response, or is our response, because we have time to think about it. And so don't worry so much about your first thought. Think about your second thought, and then watch where your emotions go. Because your emotions fuel your thought, and if your emotions are primarily negative, then you wonder why you're getting not what you're asking for. You're getting kind of the opposite of what you're asking for. So that's where your power is, where your emotions and thoughts are going. That's where your power is going. So watch your thoughts, watch your emotions, watch especially the thoughts that you are wrapping in emotions, and go from there. That Jesse's definition of treatment is thoughts wrapped in prayer. So that's what we are watching. Yes, we want to watch our thoughts, but we're not going to beat ourselves up about our first thought. What we are going to do is choose our second thought more carefully. All right. Okay, today we carefully watch all of our thinking, being certain that it sees in everyone it meets a reflection of the divine image, which is another way of saying when you look into the eyes of another being, see God looking back at you, regardless of what the outside appearance is. And that goes for people, and that goes for, beings, and they're all the divine looking back at you. Even if they're not acting like it, because you are giving them the opportunity by looking at them and seeing the divine looking back at you, you are opening that space up for them to recognize it in themselves. That is not a small power that you have. And the more of us that can look at each other and see the divine reflected back at each other, the more power the divine is going to have in this world. The more power love is going to have in this world. A copy of the divine pattern, a manifestation of those. So let me go back to being certain that it sees in everyone it meets a reflection of the divine image, a copy of the divine pattern, and a manifestation of the life of spirit. Remember that there is nothing but spirit in this world. That everything material that you see is made up of that divine substance. So all life is the life in spirit. And all life is worthy. Whatsoever things are good, lovely, and true, these things I think upon. Okay, so what are your go-tos for good, lovely, and true? What are your go-tos? When you are in that mood, and we all have them, that you want to get out of, what are your go-to good, lovely, and true thoughts or things? What beauty do you surround yourself with? What love do you surround yourself with? Because if you have it in a go-to, I can pull it out of my back pocket, it will make this process easier. People, places, things, other beings, reading, music, all of that. Whatsoever things are good, lovely, and true, these things I think upon. These thoughts I entertain in my mind. Is there that one person that always sparks it for you? And you bring them to mind. Deep within me, there is a feeling nature that reaches up and out and grasps the full significance of the goodness of good. All right, gonna try that again. Deep within me, there is a feeling nature that reaches up, out, and grasps the full significance of the consciousness of good for myself and others. The full significance of the consciousness of good for myself and others. And I say this every time he says it. One of my favorite things about Science of Mind is the good that you want for yourself is the good you want for everybody. That is the nature of this. We are divinely interconnected. And so when I want good for myself, I want good for everyone. And that is an amazing feeling to know that the good that I desire for me is the good that I am desiring for everybody. I want to be healthy, happy, whole. I want to be loved. And so these things are the things that I want for everybody. Absolutely everybody. All right. And I'm being loved right now by the little orange ears. So, let me think. What's our mission today? Actually, it's right there in that second paragraph. Our mission today is to remember that Spirit is not far off, but ever at hand. I think we're getting off easy today. He doesn't always do that. Spirit is not far off, but ever at hand, meaning that it is closer to you than your breath. It is closer to you than your jugular vein. There is nowhere that you can go that Spirit is not. And that is not a terrifying thing. That is an amazing thing, because Spirit loves you. Spirit trends towards life, and life is love. So, you are the beloved child of Spirit, in whom Spirit is well pleased. You are a divine pattern and expression of Spirit, that Spirit wants you to go as far as you possibly can. That is the nature of Spirit. It's not judgy. It is loving. And love really is that lodestone. The more loving you are, the more you attract into your life. So, I'm going to encourage you, as I always do. Do something loving for yourself. Do something kind for yourself. Do something compassionate for yourself. Do something that engages your mind and your body. Open your windows. Let in some fresh air. Get a fresh perspective. And open the windows of your soul. And allow that breath of heaven to remind you, you live in heaven now. What is it that you need to feel like that? Then go get it. Or bring it to you. You have that power. All right. So we will be back at 11 a.m. right here on Facebook Live for the service. And it's a new month, so this month the theme that Jessie chose is life strategies. Spiritual life strategies. It's good, trust me. Reverend David will be on with you around 5 p.m. and I will be back with you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. I'm very excited because this week I have 3 days of minister gathering. We are doing it differently. We are doing it online. So I get to go this year. I'm very excited. All right. So have a wonderful day. Do what you need to do to make it that fantastic day. And I will see you again in a little under 2 hours. Bye, beloveds.